Yes, guys, what's going on? Make sure you head over to stretfordpaddock.bigcartel.com. Check out all the new merch. Remember, members get 10% off. Go and do it now. See you later.
Jay here for Stretford Paddock. This is Stretford Paddock Live, and joining me, as always, is my co-host.
Make a fire, make a fire, make a fire.
Is that what you do?
Hot, that one. Actually, a bit too hot on the hands.
Yes, it's Joe Smith, of course. How are you doing, brother?
Yeah, really good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm alright, man. So it's nice doing this, isn't it? When,
yeah.
You know, the stresses of the world aren't upon us with a game on the horizon. We've got like a little, how many, was it 2 days before we have to start worrying about Manchester United again?
Yeah. Fantastic, isn't it? Great to hear. We're watching Chelsea get outplayed by Barnsley as well. At the
Barnsley?
moment. Yeah. What else are we going to be talking about today, Jay?
We're going to be talking about Paul Pogba. We're not spoken. We're not spoken about Paul Pogba for at least 3 hours. So we're going to talk about him.
Now. Yeah.
And the swap deal that was offered for him and the swap deals that potentially could happen for him. Mino Raiola's come out as well and said, I'm not talking. Okay.
Oh, cool. Nice one.
What I tend to
Luckily,
do
no damage is already done, ain't
yeah.
Mino?
And why not just not talk rather than coming out and saying, I'm not going to talk? I don't know. We're going to talk about Edinson Cavani's had a bit of a slap on the wrist.
Slap on the arse.
Yeah.
Not for the first time this season.
But I won't get too excited because it's only for Uruguay.
Oh, good.
No offence to the Uruguayans watching.
If you take some offence, I'm not too bothered.
Yeah.
If you take offence to the fact that we say we're not quite as bothered as United fans because it's only for Uruguay, I'm happy for someone to take offence to that.
That's cleared that up.
Yep.
Amad Diallo.
No offence.
Apparently there's this new rule now where you fine children.
Yeah, so he's been fined 42 grand.
Yeah.
And we'll get right into that.
For being trafficked, apparently.
Yeah.
Because that's what you want to do. Punish the child that's been trafficked.
Blame the victim.
That'll teach him.
Let's blame the victim.
Yeah, so we'll pick the bones of that one.
Yeah.
Sergio Ramos.
We've got some big transfer news, haven't we? I say big transfer news. A lot of transfer news.
We've got a lot of transfer news.
Man United are looking for a centre-back. That's what we've learned.
Yeah.
Ramos, Varane, Konate, Upamecano, Koundé. If they're French and they're a centre-back, or they're Spanish, United are going to sign them.
Yeah, so all those players that he's just listed.
Yes.
And also, we're going to be looking at how Rashford and Bruno are actually amazing, in case anyone didn't know. Because we've got some stats to like physically prove that.
Wow, nice.
So it's an incontrovertible fact. We'll start off with Paul Pogba then. There's some stories doing the rounds that Paul Pogba, well, there you can see, Juventus have offered 4 players as part of Paul Pogba swap deals. Now, if you sort of go back a little bit, Juventus were interested in Paul Pogba last summer. United wanted some money for him.
Cheeky bastards, isn't it? Dickheads United wanting money for their most well-known and expensive player of all time. What are we like, eh?
I know.
Can't they just give us a load of whatever shrapnel's left in their hand at the end of the night instead? That's essentially what they're offering us. Sorry, carry on.
No, you're right. I think we're taking out absolute mick, asking for money for Paul Pogba. As well, people do like the video. Hit that like video, and if you're not subscribing, hit subscribe as well. So apparently they offered Aaron Ramsey and Adrian Rabiot.
Right.
As part of a sweetener for a deal for Pogba. You know, can you imagine, right, if we let Pogba go and you say, you know, Aaron Ramsey, who used to play at Arsenal.
Yeah.
We've got him.
Who wasn't good enough at Juventus.
Yeah, we've got him instead.
Oh, cool. And Rabiot, who
yeah.
used to play for PSG but has notoriously got attitude problems, who also doesn't get a game for Juventus. You can have him as well for your best player.
That's mint, that. Yeah, sweet. Now I don't miss Paul Pogba.
I know.
In fact, I think we're going to win the league. Yeah, so United said you can fuck off. We
said piss right off, didn't we? And rightly so as well. Who else was part of it then? You give me 2. Who's the other 2?
Yeah, there was another proposal which involved taking one of Douglas Costa or Miralem Pjanic.
Well, Pjanic who's now gone to Barcelona, hasn't he? This offer was made a while ago, wasn't it?
So you can see it all.
Pjanic, I'm all right, thank you. And Douglas Costa, a man who has bounced around between Juventus and Bayern Munich for the last 10 years, not really ever been a starter for either of them. Why would we want 4 peripheral shit players for our best player? We're not trying to make our team worse but bigger. We're trying to make it better. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Why would we take that? I know we did reject that, but it's just a stupid offer. And I wonder if those sorts of offers come as a result of the fact that we are well known for being bad at selling players. Like, we always get the least you could possibly imagine for every player we sell. And maybe now clubs around Europe are going, well, let's just give them a whole host of crap for their best player, and they'll probably take it because they're no good at negotiating anyway.
Didn't Barcelona do something similar? Didn't they offer like 40 million quid and was it Yerry Mina or something like that?
Probably.
Like I remember there was a deal in the past that was just pathetic, where Barcelona tried to get Paul Pogba. When I say try, I think they just made a half-hearted attempt at some sort of silly deal that United were having none of. And it seems again like Juventus, maybe Juventus were playing on the fact that Paul Pogba wanted to leave. They felt if he sort of tries to engineer a move, force it, and United are thinking he doesn't want to be here. There's some players here that are decent that we can get in. I know they're not in the same class as Paul Pogba. Maybe they felt that'd work, but obviously it didn't. United said no, and now, you know, Paul Pogba's playing. I know he's injured, but he's playing pretty well this season.
Yeah,
and if we are to have any success, I've no doubt he'll be a part of it.
Yeah.
I'm glad United turned down those deals because, like you say, there's no one in those list of players that I'm thinking, without being offered them, we'd have wanted.
No,
we wouldn't have chased after any of that.
No, maybe Douglas Costa just because he can play on the wing, but he generally plays on the left wing.
Is he any better than Marcus Rashford or Anthony Martial if he was to play over there? It's debatable. I know Martial's not in his best season, but you know, you wouldn't go. We need a left-sided attacker. We need to get Douglas Costa in. No, you wouldn't. We need a midfielder to come into this midfield and really take charge of it. Adam Ramsey. Easy man.
The man who had 6 good months at Arsenal 5 years ago. Like that. Oh yeah, let's get him. Thank you.
Exactly.
No, I'm all right. Ronaldo or De Ligt, like people say in the comments, they're the only 2 players I'd want from you.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Else, I'm all right.
What sort of swap deal would you like to see happen? Who would you, if you had to swap Paul Pogba for someone who's realistic? Who would you say? Because I get where you're coming from. Like Cristiano Ronaldo, people go, well, you can get Cristiano Ronaldo, but if you look at it, he's obviously a lot older, so it's like.
Yeah, but why couldn't you get him? Yeah,
no, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
like
it
makes sense because they're getting a 27, 28-year-old. We're getting a 35-year-old, whatever it is. So it would make sense, even though I don't think he'd want to come back to
I know Ronaldo's on another level in terms of marketability and a brand name, but Paul Pogba's one of the most like brandable, merchandisable, recognisable, marketable footballers in the world as well. He's top 10, obviously a lot lower than Ronaldo, but you're getting a huge name as well as a great player.
I think he's one of the top ones.
Yeah,
I do, because he is, like you say, he is very marketable, and if you that people take that, clubs take that into account. Do you know what I mean? They're going to, especially when you're going to pay massive wages for someone. Yeah. And, you know, as a brand, I know we don't like to think like that as football fans, but it's just the world we live in, then his brand is huge, and he's going to sell you a lot of shirts and get you a lot of commercial deals and be one of your most recognisable players. So I can understand that. Some people saying Diallo.
No. We don't need someone in that position. He's a decent player, but he doesn't...
There was a point where I would have had him. Like 2 years ago, just over 2 years ago, when we were linked with him, and you thought, do you know what? It kind of makes sense. Do you know what I mean? He'd had a good season and a couple of good seasons, and you thought, yeah, he could link up well with our other attackers, and this is something that we, you know, a move that I'd like to see. And it looked like it was going to happen until he priced himself out of it with his wage demands, according to reports. So, you know, 2 years ago was but he's not done anything in the subsequent 2 years, Paulo Dybala, to make me think, oh, do you know what? Now we really have to get him. So I'm not too keen on him, but I can understand why. You know, if you're looking at a swap deal with Juve, then that one is one that you could suggest. Guys, do get involved in the comments. Let us know what you think about that deal. Mino Raiola as well. Read this out, Joe.
Yeah, Paul Pogba to Juventus. I can't speak about Paul Pogba because people are nervous. They don't sleep at night. I have to work quietly. If I speak, someone gets offended. It's taking a slight twist on the Jose Mourinho, if I speak, I'm in big trouble.
If I speak, someone gets offended. That's like me saying, if I boot my children in the head, someone gets upset about it.
Someone starts crying.
Yeah, like, if I speak, someone just don't keep saying things that are designed to offend people, which is what you constantly do, Raiola.
When you go into a cafe and order beans on toast, no one gets offended at that. No. It's like, it depends what you say, generally, whether someone gets offended or not. I know some people are a bit more sensitive than others, but the widespread offence that he caused when he essentially said that Paul Pogba was leaving Man United while he's still got a year and a half on his contract, that's quite understandable. So don't act like we're all big softies when he's the one who started spitting his dummy out because a few people criticised him.
He's like, exactly, there was that. There was a thing when he said, I wouldn't deal with Manchester United ever again. There's a time when he criticised Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and said he was out of his depth, didn't know what he was doing. There's a time when he went after Paul Scholes, because Paul Scholes criticised him, and then Paul Scholes wouldn't know leadership if he, I don't know, hit him in the face or whatever. Or imagine him trying to get a deal for Paul Pogba. He'd have many a sleepless night, whatever that means. It didn't make any bloody sense. So he has a habit, Raiola, of saying ridiculously stupid things, and then now he's sort of moaning that people are taking offence at him. Like you said, yeah, just stop doing it. So he said he's going to shut up, but I don't believe that for 1 minute. I think we'll hear from him again very soon, because it's what he does every few weeks. He seems to spout some nonsense.
Yep.
But the thing with Paul Pogba moving, it's not a priority now. He's at United. He's obviously at the end of the season. Let's just get the best out of him. I know he's injured when he comes back from his injury, because he was playing really well. He was playing actually really well against Everton, wasn't he, until he got the injury.
Yeah, it was.
I thought he was our best player at the time. So get him back in the team and moved on. Adam Sweeney is in a super chat. He says Pogba will sign a contract, as I feel Ollie will convince him the plan of winning trophies, then leaves next summer for loads of money, club benefits.
Well, that relies on the assumption that other clubs will have loads of money. Because most of the big clubs in Europe, like, other than the Ronaldo purchase, Juventus haven't spent loads of money in ages. I know they spent, 60 million on De Ligt, but these are like one-off signings. They don't spend huge money recently. Real Madrid spent, 350 million 2 summers ago and haven't really bought anyone since. So you could say maybe they're due for someone big, or you could say they've cut their spending quite significantly since then. And they didn't really buy anyone big in the meantime for ages before that. Do you know what I mean? Real Madrid sort of go in big bursts, don't they? They have a few years off, huge summer, a few years off, huge summer. And Barcelona, by all accounts, are £1 billion in debt. So there isn't a huge number of clubs who could certainly afford him. I'm not saying none of those could afford him, but there are all reasons why maybe they wouldn't want to spend what he would be worth if we did sign a new contract for him. So I don't know about that. I think PSG are an obvious one as well, and they would have the money, especially if they sell Mbappe in the next couple of seasons, which is looking possible. But I wouldn't be sure of the fact that we just give him a new contract and then get way more money for him. Look what's happened with De Gea, for instance.
Someone in the comments mentioned that.
You give him a huge new contract, and instead of getting more for him, you just can't sell him. And I don't know that we're trying to sell De Gea, but it would be hard to get. What was the offer at the time? 60 million or something?
Something like that.
It'd be hard to get that for him now, so I wouldn't be so certain. Give him a new contract means we get more. We probably just get more years of him, which probably is a good thing anyway.
I know, yeah. You make a good point as well. Like the whole De Gea thing, it's just been an absolute nightmare, hasn't it? Because regardless of whether you think he's number one or not, you've got a player who's on. I think he's the most highly paid goalkeeper in the history of football, or something.
Yeah.
So now
be.
there's a debate whether he's even our number one goalkeeper. It's just a bit of a farce.
Tricky situation.
It's a tricky situation. Moving on to another tricky situation. Edinson Cavani's got himself in a bit of hot water. But don't panic. It's nothing that most of us will care about.
It was a horror tackle, Jay. How can you not care?
It was a horror tackle.
Horror. The sheer horror of it all.
Richarlison. So, Uruguay versus Brazil. Bit
Man United
tasty.
versus Everton.
Yeah. And Cavani's got in for what I think is a perfectly legitimate challenge, having never seen it. And he's been given a two-game ban. He's had to wait. This was November the 17th.
Good.
So he's had to wait a little while for this. I don't know what they've been doing.
Just relaxing over Christmas.
Yeah.
the Uruguayan FA we're shut for 6 weeks. Fuck it.
We ain't got time to be doing that.
Putting prezzies under the tree, lads.
What?
Yeah.
Forget about that, man. Yeah, so he's got to miss a few international games. I mean, it could be a positive for United, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think the fewer games he plays for Uruguay, the better for us. I know that's a bit simplistic,
Well,
but
it's
why
such
not?
a big distance to travel, isn't it? And it's
Travel
ridiculous.
and, COVID and things like that. It's just,
Who wants it? Who needs it?
We don't need any of that, do we? So let him stay in Manchester. So he's got a bit of a ban. And he'll have to see that out and then move on. I don't think there's any dramas there.
Yeah,
I think it's quite a good headline for people, though, isn't it? Cavani handed ban, you're like, oh God, no.
Not another one. What's he done on Instagram this time?
God. What's he posted? But no, it's none of that. It's just for Richarlison, which, and what?
Yeah. I like how it gets described as a horror tackle. Which I do love that. Like, have you ever seen a horror film where the main baddie was a slide tackling escapee from prison? Oh my God, he's got out of prison. What does he do? He just fucking takes people out at knee height. Like, that's not horror. Horror is knives, bullets, like pulling of lips and that. Eyeballs, mate. Not some high tackling loose cannon on the football pitch. Oh, the horror of it. You should have seen it. He barely got the ball. What a horror film that would be.
I've never seen Marcus Rojo.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
Yes. So, as well, while we're on the subject of just silly things,
Yeah.
Amad Diallo has been handed a
Calling him
fine.
silly?
I'm not calling him silly. I'm calling this story and this whole situation rather preposterous.
Give us the backstory on this, Jay, because
Right.
this is quite the ordeal for the young
Yeah,
lad, isn't
so I want to sort of clear this up because people, you look at this and you go, Amad Diallo's been fined, right? For starters, I think it's £42,500. So it's quite. I know he's on a lot of money, but £42,000. Sorry. So why has he been fined? What's been going on? I mean, we only just got him. How's he been fined already? He's not even kicked the ball for the first team yet. But it's about his documents, and that he had false documents when he moved to Italy. So it turns out that he's had this sort of fine because the documents when he first travelled over to Italy from Ivory Coast were false. So the Italian football, he's been fined by the Italian Football Federation because it says here, and this is what it says, Sky. Manchester United winger fined over false documents that allowed him to enter Italy. As I just said, the Italian Federation said two individuals, Hamad Mamadou Traore and Marina Edwija Karim Taher, I've butchered those names, forgive me, or especially the second one, had pretended to be Diallo's parents and requested family reunification based on false certificates to attest to the family relationship. All that's in quotes. So then it goes on to say that these documents enabled him to sign for Boca Barso in 2015 and Atalanta in 2018. And it also says United have declined to comment but understood to be confident the matter will have no impact on Diallo playing for them. So it seems that when he came over from the Ivory Coast, he had these documents that weren't 100% what they should have been. Now, the sort of the difficulty we were talking about this before, and I think the problem we had with this was when he came over from Ivory Coast, he was a child.
Yeah, he was, what was he, 11, 12 years old?
Yeah, and I think his older brother or the person that came over with him.
14.
Yeah, so I'm sort of struggling as to see why children who potentially, I'm not saying this happened, but potentially could have been trafficked, and I know you think, well, trafficking, he's a professional footballer, it still doesn't make it right. Why he's getting fined for this instead of the people involved who went along with it and who did it, because surely he's not got much of a say as a child as to what documents he's using. I don't think he was sat in his bedroom going, I'm going to make some fake documents here to get me that move over to Italy, despite the fact I'm only 10.
So what's happened here is then, some people have pretended to be his parents, and then they've gone over to Italy to get him and his brother, who there are even now claims that this lad who have gone over together with him, 11 and 14 I think they were, wasn't even his brother. So there's also that element to this where not only is it not his parents, or presumed to not be his parents, it isn't even his brother. So there's some adults who we don't know who they are, have taken some children who are not related, who have no real say in the matter. Well, I'm sure they have some say in the matter, but legally they don't because they're children, over to a foreign country to make them play football, presumably for the benefit of, I would guess, these false parents as much as anyone. If you depending where you read this, you say Sky there. I don't know if they have their comments turned on. They often don't. But you read this on the Daily Mail. You read this on.
The Daily Mail were right on this, mate. Don't you worry about that.
The way it's written is as though, look at this fraudulent young lad who's scammed his way into Italy, who's used one of them said used false parents, like he's used false parents.
There you go.
To get this. Of allegations.
Bogus parents.
But bogus parents. Oh, he's used bogus parents. Like this is his plot, his ploy.
Talk about victim
as an 11-year-old. And someone said before, why has he only been fined now? Because they waited till he was 18 to fine him, because he was a child until now. So not only have they literally fined the victim in all of this, they had to wait for 5 years or so to do it, because it was a child and you couldn't find him until now.
This is unreal. There's another bit here in one of the articles where it said the investigation looked into allegations that a child trafficking ring of 5 adults smuggled the 2 boys into Italy on a family visa 6 years ago, including 2 who falsely claimed to be their mother and father.
Yeah.
So
let me read you the
part
of the UK law. So obviously not Italy, but this is the UK, obviously where it is now, where we are. Their laws on child trafficking and the definitions of child trafficking. Human trafficking, a person commits an offence if they arrange or facilitates the travel of another person with a view to being exploited. And the definition of being exploited in this is the person is subject to force, threats, abduction, fraud, which is what this is, or deception, which is what this says, designed to induce him or her to provide services of any kind. So this is fraud, pretending to be his parents, pretending to be someone that he isn't, on his behalf, because this isn't his plan, is it? In order to provide services, which is him playing football for different clubs and presumably making money for these people. It is child trafficking by UK law definition, which admittedly this isn't Italy, but by the laws that we abide by, that are largely similar across Europe. This is child trafficking, and he has to pay a £42,000 fine for the privilege. Absolutely ludicrous.
I'm hoping that whatever's gone on here, the club is just going to go, we'll pay that or whatever. This is nonsense. I know people go, he's on a lot of money. It's not the point. I think, someone's asking in the comments.
Why.
Yeah, is this why he doesn't want to be called Traore? Then I think that's right, because he's using the surname Diallo, and I think on the back of his shirt he has Ahmad now.
Yeah.
But I think the Traore bit as he doesn't use that anymore. And I think this, as someone's pointed out, sorry, I can't remember who it was, Ian Steele. Yeah,
but again,
it looks like that.
You go in, I never quite fully finished what I was going to say there.
Sorry,
you go into the comments, just moved on. You go into the comments of the Daily Mail in particular, and you rank them by highest rated, which is obviously the ones that the most people have liked, the least people have disliked. It's comments saying he's joining another cheat for a cheating club. This is a disgrace. He should be kicked out of the country. Why not send him back then? All these just fucking ludicrous comments. When you literally, you couldn't be victim blaming anymore if you possibly tried. And even if he did have a false, but whatever, who cares? That's a whole other matter whether you.
Oh, it's a
people
nice
coming into the country. Personally, I just don't care. If you want to live somewhere, you should be able to live there. But even within the law, the opinion that people have on this is just absolutely disgusting.
It is, and like you said, Jesus, what would you go berserk if you started reading Daily Mail comments? But just having a little scan over them, like you said there, it's a mixture of just racism and idiocy.
Yeah.
Listen, it's not his fault what this has gone on. Paid a fine. Hopefully, just put the whole episode behind him, and he can get back to playing football, because it just seems like a bit of an embarrassing situation, not for him at all, but from the powers that be and those people involved. And like I said earlier, I hope it just sort of dies down. It really annoyed me that this story's come out and you see sort of people reveling in it in the comments and online. And it's, look at this, and absolutely no one going, hang on a minute, this lad, he was 10 years old, been uprooted from his country, taken to a different one with people that aren't his parents, and now waited 8 years to be fined for the privilege. But he gets to play football. That's not the point. Another one where you can probably file that one in the bin, but it's a story doing the rounds, and that's what we're here to talk about. Stories that are doing the rounds about Manchester United.
A question from Ryan Arthur says, if you just pay the fine, do you admit guilt? Well, there was some comments in there that I saw in one of the articles saying about in an attempt to reduce the fine or reduce the sanctions, he had to do some sort of basically apologise or admit some level of guilt in this, basically to lower the sanctions and remove the possibility, I think, of prison or something.
He says avoid a ban. It says
he probably has had to do that, which makes it even more ridiculous. But I suppose, fortunately, who knows what the case is for a lot of kids who this happens to. But fortunately for him, he's been successful enough that £42,000 isn't going to be the end of the world for him. But
imagine if he was playing for or
working in a supermarket,
Series C team or whatever, and was on, that was a year's wage, or he couldn't pay it and he had to have a ban, so he couldn't play football because he got trafficked.
Yeah.
How is that remotely fair? It seems like a bit of a farce, and a disgusting one.
Yeah.
At that, as United fans, when situations like that, man, just circle the wagons, innit?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's what you got to do with that sort of thing. Just have his back. Should we have a Sergio Ramos story?
Yeah.
Because I feel like we've not been linked with Sergio Ramos for about a day.
It's been a while.
This has been going on since what? 2012, should we say? I don't know. When was the first time we were linked with Sergio Ramos?
On and off. The big one was 2016, wasn't it?
2016
when under Van Gaal.
Van Gaal, he didn't sign a deal at Real Madrid. Everyone's like,
do you want to know something, Jay?
Ramos.
I thought it was going to happen.
Did
Back
you really?
in the News Now days, I was refreshing News Now.
I still look at News Now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was refreshing News Now, Man United, like nobody's business around this. I thought we were going to sign Sergio Ramos. Obviously, he used us to get a bigger contract at Real Madrid and went on to be, put his name in the hat for greatest defender of all time in the meantime. But now they've popped back up again, haven't they? Tell us the news, Jay.
Well, they have popped back up because it's the exact same story that does the rounds, every 5 years or whatever it is. That he's not signed a new deal at at Real Madrid, that he has an affinity or he has a sort of fondness for Manchester United, and that he would be happy to come to Manchester United. Manchester United would be happy to have him. So it's a deal that makes sense, that people think, well, okay, United need a new centre-back. Sergio Ramos is one of the...
He's hardly new, though, is he? Bless him. He's 35.
Yeah. They need a new old centre-back or whatever, however you want to word that.
Used in fair condition.
Yeah.
Acceptable condition.
So he's been linked again. Now...
Some minor scuffs.
Yeah,
if it was an eBay listing, he wouldn't say new, brand new without tags.
Do you know what? I am that petty. I'd love to sign him just to see him play at Anfield.
Be great, wouldn't it?
Aye.
Drag Salah down.
And just to chant, when the fans are back in, just to chant like his name throughout the entire game. Do you know what I mean? That'd be brilliant.
A lot of players would crumble under that pressure, but I think Ramos would shoulder the burden quite nicely.
Oh! Aye. Now you're talking my language.
Thank you.
That's what he's here for.
Thank you.
As you can see from the graphic, I hate the start of this. Ed Woodward has long dream of signing Real Madrid's Rafael Varane. Has he? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. While Sergio Ramos' contract situation at the Bernabeu is also being monitored, United thought they'd land Diallo Upamecano in the summer, and things there appear to have changed to Chelsea and Liverpool now front runners. I don't agree with that bet, because I think he's going to go...
Yeah, Bayern Munich seem to be the overwhelming front runners.
I think they might be...
Maybe in England. This is the Express, who obviously write with a British-centric focus.
They make the Dale look positively liberal. Rafael Varane's an interesting one, because again, he was a target under Fergie, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Remember, Fergie really wanted him, and I really rate Varane.
Well, Varane's been one of the sort of most outstanding centre-backs in Europe since he was 19.
Yeah.
He was injured a lot.
Now he's 27, which is ridiculous, because he's been like around for 11 seasons, and you're like, he can't be that young, but he is.
Yeah. Very much Alaba syndrome with Varane, isn't it? Where they've won everything and they're only 27 and 28 respectively.
He has won everything as well, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Like, he's won the World Cup as well, hasn't he? So it's just the full gamut. But yeah, he's another one who's out of contract soon. There's thought that he could be moving on. United, interested in him. I think of those two, I'd personally, listen, just indulge me. I don't think either was particularly likely, but I'd rather have Varane.
Much rather have Varane.
Yeah, just because
it just makes more sense. He's 7 years younger than him?
And also,
8 years younger than him?
He's rapid and would complement Harry Maguire.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be partnering Harry Maguire. And I think out of the two, there's probably a slightly better chance of us signing Varane, even though I'm not saying it's going to happen. I think of the two, it kind of makes a bit more sense than us convincing Sergio Ramos to leave Madrid and or being willing to pay the wages that he'd want.
Yeah.
You never know with Manchester United. Anything is possible, but I think that you take both of those with a pinch of salt, but of the two, maybe Varane.
Well, Varane's contract runs out in 2022, and obviously Real Madrid are after Alaba in the meantime. So there has been some speculation. I saw Marca talking about it in Spain, who aren't the most reliable, but are maybe slightly closer to the story. You see the Express there talking about Upamecano going to Liverpool or Chelsea when that's buying of the front runners. Marca obviously closer to the story than the Express are. They were saying that his contract expires next season, or the end of next season, should I say, and that the reason he's more likely to go is because they could still get a fair price for him. Whereas with Ramos, he's going on a free. He's their biggest talisman at the club. He's their greatest player who currently plays for them, I would say. They really don't want to let him go. I think even at 35, they don't really have a replacement. But Varane is potentially another kettle of fish because he's younger, because he's still got time left on his contract. They're more likely to get some money for him, whether that be 30, 40, 50 million. Obviously, it wouldn't be a huge amount because he only has a year left. But yeah, Varane for me would be perfect. He does still have injury problems, and I think he's one of those players that he's a fantastic player. He does have a mistake in him, but for the rest of the time, he's so good, you sort of allow that a little bit. He's not one of those players where he's just steady, calm, every single time it's perfect. He's a bit more than that, but also he has a little knock in him sometimes. But I'd absolutely love Varane. What's interesting to me is that it seems as though United are prioritising a position we're saying there is ahead of Sancho, another position ahead of a right winger, which I still don't quite understand, because whilst I think we do need new centre-backs, and Eric Bailly may well leave this summer, not because he's not good enough, but he's got 18 months left on his contract. And again, same position that Varane's in. If we want to get any money for Eric Bailly, whether that be 10, 20 million, whatever you're going to get, now's the season to do it, because otherwise he's leaving on a free in 18 months, and I don't think the club will give him another long-term contract. So it's looking as though Phil Jones may leave, or probably will leave. Eric Bailly could well go as well, and then all of a sudden even if you think Lindelof and Maguire are good, we need a couple of centre-backs just to make up the numbers because Rojo's gone as well. So we do need a centre-back. We've got a couple more to talk about, I think, as well, haven't we? We've got Ibrahim Konate for RB Leipzig, who plays alongside Upamecano.
Yeah, I mean, they could be having a bit of a fire sale by the sound of it here. RB Leipzig. Just in then, one of the comments, someone was asking, is Varane, he's gone downhill, does he even get a game for Real Madrid? Yeah, he does. I think he's played nearly all their games so far this season in the Liga, so he's still first choice. And for me, you know, he's still a hugely talented defender, and I think he walks in at this Manchester United team. To be honest with you, Konate, someone you like? Because all the focus is on Diallo Upamecano in that defence, but he's not exactly shabby, is he?
Yeah, Konate, I do really like him. I think is a good player. He's, again, you're getting players from Germany. For some reason, it always seems more of a volatile or uncertain transfer area, Germany, than you think it would. Like German teams, I say German teams, Bayern Munich, you know, semi-regularly win the Champions League, or they've been thereabouts for the last 20 years. They've been one of the best teams in Europe. You get a lot of good players coming from Germany. Germany have won the World Cup, and yet, when you buy players from Germany, the strike rate seems to be all over the place in comparison to what the perceived quality of the Bundesliga is. So I'm never quite certain with them, but yeah, I think he's a good player, and apparently for the people, from what I've read, some people think that he kind of does a lot of the work that Upamecano gets a bit of credit for. So, you know, if he's a good player, I'd happily take him. You see there, Man United may have ditched plans to sign Diallo Upamecano this coming summer, but they have not looked too far to find a potential alternative. The RB Leipzig centre-back partner, Ibrahim Konate, is now being considered by the Red Devils Chiefs as one of their main summer target transfers to slot into the defence alongside captain Harry Maguire.
Red Devils Chiefs sounds like some form of a
Native American.
Well, I was going to say American football team, but yeah, Native American, go with that. We've also been linked with the lad from Sevilla, haven't we, as well?
Yes.
Jules
Koundé, yeah. Who scored a fantastic goal against Barcelona the other day.
Get him.
I don't know if you...
I didn't see it. I don't need to see it. Just get him. So we need goals. Get him.
He just ran from the edge of his own box all the way up the pitch, played a 1-2, got it back on the edge of the box and stuck it in the top corner.
That's
fantastic goal.
Sign him. Get him. Yeah, so it looks like we're in for anyone who's young and French and a centre-back. Yeah. We'll have him. Do you know what I mean? Or middle-aged Spanish one as well.
Yeah, he's actually middle-aged as well, isn't he? 35 is...
Nothing wrong with that.
What's in there?
The way you said it, it's like it's some sort of issue with being.
You just want United to sign a player that was at school when you were. That's what
I do remembers when you used to pay 2 and 6 for things. Yeah, shall we move on? Enough of this nonsense. So anyway, get involved in the comments. Let us know what you think about those potential signings. Would you like to see Varane? Would you like to see Konate? Would you like to see Upamecano? Would you like to see Ramos? Would you like to see any of the other players that we've spoken about? Ryan asks what is 2 and 6. It's a form of currency. It was how.
Go on, then talk us through it.
I don't remember. The metric system was like came in the 70s or new money. I wasn't born till the 80s.
It was on the 15th of February 1976. That's a guess. It was on my dad's birthday though. I think it was the 15th of February. Yeah.
See, so
someone let us know in the comments. But yeah, it's an old form of British currency, isn't it?
It is an old form of British currency, and it's one that I don't remember.
Yeah, you do. You remember stories of it though.
I remember stories. Yeah, I remember stories of it. But I am too young to remember that because, like most other people on this channel, I was born in the 80s. When were you born?
1993.
You disgust me.
That's actually quite old these days, you know.
Really?
Yeah.
Being born 1993?
Yeah, to the TikTok generation, I might as well be working.
Yeah, producer Cam there's cheering off.
Who's also in his 20s, so he's not like.
All right, okay, yeah. I just want to move on to something else now. I just want to give a little shout out to Ryan Turner and his family. I saw this story in the Manchester Evening News, a bit of a sad one. It was a very sad one actually. He passed away, took his own life. He's a big United fan from Nuneaton. He had his funeral today, and he asked that everyone come out wearing red, just to show a bit of support for him and the family. He's a massive United fan, and there was just a message that has been doing the rounds from his family and everyone, just saying, you know, reach out to your kids and reach out to people, because it's dark times. I know we have a laugh and everything, but it's a testing time, especially for a lot of young people out there. So shout out to him and his family. Our hearts go out to him, and also, you know, give someone a ring and reach out, and it's something we'll try and do. We will continue to try and do, and you know, like I said earlier, thoughts with his family. Getting back to stats and football, one stat that's been doing the rounds is Marcus Rashford. Now, according to...
Is that a stat?
Yeah.
What's your favourite stat?
Marcus Rashford.
Good lad.
Just a stat. He's one of the best players in the world, officially.
Yeah.
Right. When it
Officially.
comes, what's
the real quiz.
What's the purpose of football, Joseph?
Stats.
Exactly.
Just blind stats. Don't watch the game. Just read Twitter.
I don't. We beat Barcelona or we beat Bayern Munich 2-1 in the new camp. What are the stats? What was the possession?
Yes.
What was the the XG?
Balls into final third.
Yeah.
And
where were the idea balls?
Yeah.
Not what was the score and what trophy did we get at the end of it.
What was the expected pre-assist?
Thank you.
For shit's sake.
Hey, listen.
Goals.
Any numpty can score a goal and get silverware.
Champions League final.
Do you know what I mean? Fucking hell.
Who turns over the ball the least with the most forward passes, divided by possession on pitch and space when arriving at feet? Who does that the best?
I tried to start that chant in the Stretford and it didn't really take off, but I'm giving it another go next time.
That's why.
Do you know what I mean? Because they obviously don't understand
Called
football.
you the Stretford Bellend, didn't they? And there's no need for that. No need for that.
I have joined in with it for a little while because it was quite witty. But then I realised, it was about me.
Yeah.
Rashford and Bruno are on fire, as the graphic says.
Yeah.
So it's weird, isn't it? Me and you would talk about this on the preview for the West Bromwich Albion game, which when's the preview out?
Saturday.
So make sure you check Saturday. So make sure you check that out. And we were saying that Marcus Rashford is a bit of an enigma wrapped in a riddle inside a mystery, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I love Marcus Rashford. You love Marcus Rashford. Collectively, we love Marcus Rashford. But I think, is it okay to say that he isn't playing at his best a lot of the time recently?
I don't know, actually. And my opinions may have changed on this.
Since 4 hours ago, throw me under the fucking bus on a live video. You little dickhead.
Yeah. Offer me my opinion again, and I'll just flat out reject it. I may have changed my opinion because I've had a think, and do you know what it came after, actually? It was a conversation that we had quickly after the preview in here. We're talking about Anderson, we're talking about Nani.
Yes.
And we're talking about, those two players, neither of which are as good as Marcus Rashford.
Nope.
But there's part of me that thinks that really talented players and players who try to go past men and try to take risks and try to, be very front foot and aggressive and a little bit selfish as well, throughout their whole careers, people like Marcus Rashford are going to be called inconsistent, or he's not had a good day but he's scored, or he's not been very good recently, or he's wasteful, he gives the ball away too much, he should have passed there. That's always going to be the case with Marcus Rashford, I think. And I know he does have games where you say he kept the ball really well, he passed it really well, everything he did came off. But I think in the way that Bruno plays these ludicrous passes all the time, the ball comes straight to him and he chips it over the defence, or the ball comes to his feet and he'll flick it around the corner. He's always trying to take risks. And Rashford does that, but with the ball at his feet, rather than trying to play the ball. He takes risks on the dribble, he takes risks with the runs he makes in behind, so he's going to be offside, and it's going to be frustrating, and he's going to run into centre-backs, and that's going to be frustrating as well. But I just think that is what makes him so good. And I know Tony Marshall last season put up some great numbers, and this season they've been very poor. But if Marcus Rashford continues to frustrate and continues to not be at his best, but also continues to be top 5 in goal contributions, which, we've taken the piss out of stats before, but goal contributions is goals and assists, which are the two biggest things in football. If he continues to be near the top of these lists, I don't really mind how he gets there, because those two players have combined, I think, about 75% of Manchester United's goals this season have come from those two, whether it be in assist or goal form. So, for me, he may just always have this levelled at him. He may always be inconsistent or wasteful or frustrating or all these words you hear about him. That might just be what Rashford is. And the fact that he contributes this much suggests that maybe he isn't quite as wasteful as he looks.
No, I completely agree where you're coming from then. I know we're sort of talking about his performances. And I think it's easy to get frustrated when you see a player who, he's got the ball, he's running with the ball, or he's got a chance and he doesn't score the chance. One thing I think that sort of doesn't get highlighted enough is the fact that we concede too many goals. After the Everton game, we drew 3-3, and there was a lot of talk about Marcus and he should have converted, he should have took one of his chances and all this. And I think we scored 3 goals at home. That should be enough. Do you know what I mean? We shouldn't have to rely on us scoring 4 goals to win a game. And had our defence been a little bit more at the races, we'd be talking about Marcus's pass for the Cavani goal, which was superb. But we weren't. We said, oh, well, Marcus Rashford should have done more and this sort of thing. So that annoys me a little bit. And I think the fact that, you know, when you look at some of the great Manchester United teams, when you look at through the ages, we didn't always. There's this misconception that we've always had these players that score 30, 40 goals. We haven't. Yeah. Cristiano Ronaldo and Ruud van Nistelrooy were exceptions to the rule. I know we had Robin van Persie as well, but there was times, especially early when we used to win the Premier League. I think when we first won the Premier League, I think Mark Hughes scored 16 goals that season in all competitions. And you look back at Sparky with fondness. Yeah. I think Eric, his numbers, I know he joined sort of halfway through the season, were saying, I know you go, well, he's not better than Eric. But the point is, we didn't always have these strikers or attackers that went out and scored loads and loads of goals. No. It's quite rare that. And what happens is, when you've got the goals spread around the team and you've got a defence that does its job, that's okay. What we've got a problem with at the minute is the goals aren't spread around the team as much as they should be, although that's helps a little bit with Scott McTominay getting in on the action and obviously heading to Cavani. Yeah. But they're not, you know, people like Mason Greenwood and Anthony Martial are having a bit of a patchy spell. But the main thing is we're conceding too many goals. Do you know what I mean? I mean, years ago, you'd have scored one goal against Sheffield United and won the game.
That's it. Yeah.
Simple as that. And it's like, you know, now I know we were unlucky with the decisions, but we conceded 2 against Sheffield United, 3 against Everton. And it's like, you're making life hard for yourself. So I get where you're coming from with that, and I think he's always going to be a bit of a tight Marcus Rashford. There's a certain element of the fan base that don't like the fact that he's sort of very heavily tied to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He came through the academy, and there's this sort of thing of like, he's only in the team because he's Mank, and you know, all his love channel is nonsense. But I think the vast majority of United fans do love him. And I also think he gets a bit of a backlash for what he does off the pitch, because people go, oh, he should focus on his football, which I always think is nonsensical, because, you know, it's not like he's, like you, I think you said this on the live a few months ago, it's not like he's missing training to send some tweets out. No. It's like, I can't come in today, lads, I've got to go and deliver some food parcels to the poor.
I've got a box full of yams.
Yeah.
And I'm meant to be at kickoff.
Yeah. Where's Marcus? Case, oh, he's not tuning in today. He's at the homeless shelter making brews.
Yeah. What that is, though, is what people do to football. I don't know why, but we've been through this before. Maybe it's because they're working class. Maybe it's because it's a particularly unique way of poor people from backgrounds that aren't affluent to make a lot of money very quickly. But footballers are held to these standards that no one else is held to. Like the idea that he can't do anything off the pitch that takes up any time except play football. It's like, what do you think these people do? He plays football, you know, what, 40 hours a week probably? Yeah. Football-related activities, which is, you know, more than, you know, as much as any job or as much as most jobs, and is expected to only do football. And if you do anything else, including feeding people who are vulnerable and don't have food, you ought to concentrate on your football. What do you think people do? Finish training, just going to go 15 hours of kick-ups until next training session.
I'm just going to watch videos of myself playing
around
football.
the world for 15 hours until the next training
why I didn't score that goal I should have done.
These are human beings we're talking about here. It's ridiculous.
I mean, I'm not being funny. When I was growing up and United were winning all these things, you could go out into Manchester City Centre, right, and bump into players levered out their head. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? That was the sort of thing they did, and no one minded, because that was what all footballers did, and we were winning things. And now it's like, players don't tend to do that. They don't get levered. They don't drink a lot. They spend a bit of their spare time helping society, and it's like, come on, you shouldn't be doing that. It's a load of bollocks. Ayush Bossy, forgive me, I butchered your name, in the super chat says, just got rejected from the Uni of Manchester. Don't worry about it, it's crap uni. Was hoping to go to OT, or maybe even meet one of you guys after COVID, obviously. Yep. Drowning in my sorrows right now, but thank you for existing, makes it better. All joking aside, mate, I know it's difficult when you get rejected from uni and college, and I've had that myself when I was a lot younger, but better days ahead, and just keep at it. And hopefully we will see you at Old Trafford as well, because we're all dying to get in there, and you know, just keep at it, mate. Don't let it get you too down, and appreciate the super chat as well. But no, Bruno, we sort of know with his stats, don't we? I mean, I keep referring to you, which is annoying.
Thank you.
But
does it annoy you that sometimes?
Yeah, because I think,
what's he saying that's so good then?
Why can't I be saying, do you remember what I said the other week, Joe? It's dead clever. Yeah. I'm saying, wasn't what you said, Joe? But no, you point out the fact that people like to be the cleverest person in the room by acting more stupidly than anyone else. Yeah. So when you go, Bruno scored loads of goals and assists and taking us from 6 points off the top 4 to top of the league at one point. He must be amazing, and he's won 4 Player of the Year Month awards in a year. People go, well, actually, he's crap. Because I've seen something you haven't seen. Yeah, and Rashford does give the ball away, and he is frustrating. And I think he has had spells in his career where he's looked better for a larger percentage of a match.
But his efficiency is, I think, pretty ridiculous, really. The amount of goals and assists he's got stand for themselves. And, you know, again, for me, if he can keep those numbers up and that rate up, he's going to end up with 50 goals and assists this season or something there.
And there will still be people going, well, you know, if you actually look at his XG.
Yeah.
Someone said to me the other week, they said he scores 1 in 5.
Okay.
And I said, right, so okay, just let's do the maths. He scored 83 goals, I think, in his United career.
Yeah.
So if he converted all his chances, he'd score 400 goals by the age of 23.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any fucking sense
That's
whatsoever.
not how it works.
So he'd be the greatest player in the history of the world.
And the thing to remember as well is, he's not a number 9. Like, he's not someone who is lauded for his finishing ability, and he's not someone who plays in a position where his finishing ability is the paramount ability in his arsenal. That's not what he does. No. He's ridiculously quick. He changes defence into attack faster than anyone else in the club except Dan James. But you know, Dan James isn't as reliable. It's not just about scoring, is it? And efficiency in front of the goal, because his game is about a lot more than just that. So don't worry about that.
You know, and people hate this. They don't like to focus on this side of things. And there's an element to this with Bruno as well. He's the type of player that will always want to play no matter what, no matter whether he's carrying a knocker or whatever. And that sometimes, you know, sort of goes against him, actually. It hurts him because he's always willing to play, and I think Ollie sometimes overplays him. He's always battling, he's always trying his hardest, he's always getting involved. And you need more than that. I'm not saying that's all he's got. He has got more than that. He's very, very talented. But yeah, he's got that as well. And in terms of Bruno, we know he's up there because, as we've mentioned, he's an absolutely outstanding footballer.
Yes.
And I'm very glad that we've got both of them. Cavani and Mata, contracts, Joseph.
Yeah.
Are they going to sign?
Are
we going to extend their contracts? Because someone was messaging on the Twitter, tweeting him about that. Someone was tweeting me saying it was a bit odd that Juan Mata wasn't in the squad for the West Ham game. And I'm going to be honest with you, and this sounds horrible because I love Juan Mata. I didn't even notice. It wasn't like a talking point where we were going, no, Man Mata. Man Mata, which is the alternative version of his name. No, Juan Mata in the squad.
Fawlty Towers, that's what it would be called.
Man Mata, very good. Yeah, so that was a spoonerism. So it says.
Actually.
Thank you. Yeah, grammar school education.
For anyone who doesn't know what a spoonerism is, tell them.
I know what it is.
Go on then.
It's where you swap letters round at the beginning of words, isn't it?
Good lad. May Jotty over here telling us what a spoonerism is.
I can't even do yours, so forget it. Right, so as you can see there, both players are out of contracts at the end of the season, but United have the option to extend their deals until 2022. However, the Manchester Evening News understands a decision has not been made on their futures. On the futures of Cavani, 34 on Sunday, and Mata, who will turn 33 in April.
32 then?
Yeah. That's weird.
It does made in that. Do you know when you meet someone?
That's weird, isn't it?
When you ask someone, how old are you? And they go, I'll be 36 in November. You just say 31. What is the obsession with your next birthday? Ridiculous. I'll be 36 in next June. Right, you're 35 then. Get over yourself.
I like to say, I just turned 29. 12 years ago.
Yeah, say that. Yeah, 8 years ago in January, I'll be 18. You're like, what? Who words it? No one does that. Just say how old you are and move on. One word is what I need.
Do you know what I always do?
31.
I hate say you've got say your birthday. When's your birthday?
July the 24th.
And then you'll go, oh, it's my brother's birthday's around now.
Yeah. Of course it fucking is.
Who cares?
Yeah.
What are you saying that for?
Oh, something else. You know, that we had one of those days last year. Yeah. So, don't care. Unless your birthday is the same as mine, and we can go.
Yeah.
And that would be it. We go, and then we move on.
But like this whole like, I know someone with a similar birthday is just absolute nonsense. Because if you haven't got anything to say, just fucking say anything.
I believe the stat is in a room of 24 people or more, there is a 50% chance that 2 people will have the same birthday.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's a fact. Anyone want to look that up? It's true. What do you mean, Cam? It's not.
Cam's off camera.
I don't know if it's 24, but it's certainly 30. In a room of 30 people, and I believe it may be 24, there's a 50% chance 2 people have the same birthday. Anyone want to back that up? Because I feel I'm doubting myself.
Right.
Go on, Jay. Sorry, carry on. So they're 34.
I love the fact that Ryan has got your birthday note wrong already, unless it's deliberate.
It's July, not June. Fucking hell, Ryan.
So as you can see, only going to sort the
24/7. That's the way to remember mine.
Oh,
when's your birthday? 24/7, mate.
Nicely done. You'll be getting a bespoke cup from Design and Shine Products coming your way. Right, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been speaking about Edinson Cavani. He says at the moment it looks like he has a few years left in him. That's nice. At the moment, it looks like he's got a few years left in him, hopefully. So I wouldn't say anything else. He has made a great impact when he has come here. Let's focus on improving everyone, but he has a few years left in him. So he said it twice there. And when it comes to Juan Mata, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer says, Juan really contributes in and around the group. He's one of those I have discussions with all the time, and it is difficult to leave him out, but unfortunately that is where it is at the moment. No decision has been made yet, because I don't think he's been in the squad a little while, Juan Mata.
No.
I think it's been a few weeks. So obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer addressing that. We know that off the pitch or as part of the squad or whatever and being in and around the team, that Juan Mata is a lovely man, he's a very positive influence, and he's someone that everyone loves and obviously gets his head down. And like Marcus does a lot of good stuff off the pitch with his charity work as well.
No one's more mad at Marcus Rashford than Juan Mata, by the way. He used to be the charity poster boy, didn't he?
Mate, he's proper blown him out of the water as well.
When's the last
He's
time
not
you
just
heard
done
of-
like something similar.
No.
He's done something like amazingly better.
Yeah.
And I'm not knocking Juan Mata there, but it's like,
Yeah.
you know, oh, what's that? What are you doing? What are you doing, Juan?
Common goal.
What are you doing?
Fucking
What's
own
that? What's that?
goal
What's
more
that
like.
about? What's that
Oh,
about?
I give some footballers, we give some sort of percentage. I can't remember if it's quite a high percentage, I think, of our wages to charity.
Right, okay.
1%.
Yeah. 1% is wages
Yeah,
charity.
just the 1%.
So 1%. All right. I might.
What would you do anyway?
I don't know, nothing. Just got the government to reverse a policy so I could feed millions of kids across the UK. Did it a couple of times, and then when they refused to do it, I just got the entire nation to sort of mobilise and get behind me and make sure that no child went unfed during the summer months. You know, just that really. What was it you said again about your common shizzle thing? 1%. You keep up with that. Sounds really good. Just got to go to the food shelter and giving out some parcels to the poor.
Fuck off. Dickhead. Yeah. So Juan Mata's been blown out of the water charity-wise, and that's why he's got to leave Man United. That's what we're saying. No, obviously
love it if they have that conversation,
we all
by
like
the way.
Juan Mata. And the fact that you can even joke about that with him is a testament to the good
No,
work that he
he's
does
all
do,
joking
and
aside,
obviously it's
he's
a joke.
amazing, isn't he?
But in terms of on the pitch, I believe our time needing Juan Mata is over, I would say. And for me, if we'd just been, completely objective about it, and you're just saying what needs to happen, there would be no reason to extend his contract, would there?
Yeah, I get where you're coming from, and it's difficult because when you're emotionally attached to a player like Juan Mata, and I think he's been one of our best signings post-Fergie. Do you know what I mean? I know when he arrived in the Moyes era, we were doomed that season already, but you look at his contributions to the trophies we've won, you look at some of the goals he scored, some of the performances he's put in. I mean, he's been pretty impressive, and I just feel that, it's a shame because if we'd have got him in his prime now, I think he'd have shone in this team. Sorry, I think he really would have.
Playing a sort of Jack Grealish kind of role
Yeah.
out wide, but with a bit more pace.
100%, because he came in, like I said, with the Moyes era. He came in January where I think we were already 7th and we weren't getting into the top 4. And then we had the Louis van Gaal era where he played well, he did all right. Jose came in, he'd already had a bit of an issue with him when he was at Chelsea, but I always felt Juan Mata stepped up for Jose and sort of forced the issue, because I don't think Jose fancied him, but he forced his way into that
Plays
team.
a lot with Jose.
He did, and it was a team that sort of shouldn't have suited him, because you had like fast-paced, sort of talented, strong forwards and attackers. It was sort of like Mkhitaryan, Pogba, Lukaku, and Rashford and Martial, and it didn't seem like Juan Mata fit into that
Couldn't
mold.
be slower and smaller, could he?
Yeah, but he did. He made it work, and I used to love watching him when he first came in and Rooney linking up, and then later on when it was like him and Lukaku and Mkhitaryan and players like that. He's always a player that you can see why other players like playing alongside him. He's not selfish. He's very selfless, but he's very talented as well. And he's someone that I felt that younger players can learn off. But yeah, it's not looking great for him. Cavani, different story, really, isn't it?
Yeah, is Cavani. I mean, he's only been here 5 months or whatever it is, but he's been excellent pretty much every time he's played. I think his goals per minute, because obviously he's come on as sub in a few games and he's come off early in a few games. His goals per minute is excellent. By far the best of our number 9s. Obviously, I'm comparing him to Martial there, but he's been really good, I think, Cavani. And his movement and the way he approaches the box and how he enters the box and his movements within the box are levels above anyone else at the club, anywhere. Well, arguably anywhere. He's a proper number 9. He's a great striker. He's scored loads of goals. So it's no surprise he's a great striker, is it? We're all acting surprised. I suppose it's after the Falcao comparisons and the fact that we have been stung before by getting an older striker that scored loads of goals in Europe. Falcao never really looked like much at United, but Cavani to me does, and he looks like a really good player. And for me, when he's fit, he's got to play. And if that's still the case at the end of the season, there is absolutely no question that will be extended in terms of the option that United have that they can just choose to extend. And we'll see after that. It depends if we sign someone this summer, if we sign someone next summer. That remains to be seen. Hopefully we'll get another striker this summer, and there may be a little bit of a Lukaku, Ibrahimovic transition there. Obviously that didn't end particularly well, but you know what I'm saying, where the older striker who goes from being the main choice to being the sort of second choice, and we get in Haaland is the name that's mentioned over and over again, so someone like that would be great. But there's no doubt that he's going to be here next season, unless some serious injury or he falls out with someone.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Ryan R in the super chat says, mentioned a couple of my organic chats. Feel like I need to give back. Cheers, carry on. Thank you. We'll take your
Thank you very
advice.
much. Chelsea have beaten Barnsley 1-0, by the way. No real surprise there, but Barnsley outplayed him, if I'm being honest. Barnsley were the better team.
No justice in the world
Chelsea
as well.
yeah.
Peter Kelly in the super chat says, extend Mata's contract to get a bit of money.
To get Mata a bit of money, or to...
I'm not really sure.
Me neither.
Or to sell, I don't think there is a bit of resale. I think when Mata goes, he goes on a free. Yeah. I don't think you're getting much money for one Mata.
Yeah.
I don't know what his sort of relationship is in terms of with Oli and with the coaching staff. I don't know if there's any role for him other than that, but I'm guessing when he finishes playing, he'll just move on, or not finishes playing. Sorry, when United think it's come to an end, I don't think he'll stay in the club. I think he'll move on. Yeah. Some players you think might have a coaching role or some sort of other role at the club. I think he may go somewhere where, I don't know, back to Spain maybe. Somewhere like that,
maybe sort of follow the Santi Cazorla model. Yeah. Back to a mid-table team in Spain and be one of their best players because he's still got
a lot to offer, especially look at his dead ball ability. I think he's the second highest goal scorer from free kicks in the Premier League history.
Maybe I'm not sure if it's numbers. I'm not sure if it's number of goals or if it's like free kicks taken to goals.
Right,
either way, he's in a
he's very very at the top of the tree. Talking of Spain, Real Sociedad. If we were to be watching him, if we were to be going to that game, wouldn't we be doing it in Spain, would we?
No, I wouldn't anyway.
Well,
you might still turn up like an idiot. And you ring me, you go, where are you? And I'll say, where are you? And you'll go, Spain, like we agreed.
Yeah, I mean, Sociedad.
And I'll say, idiot.
Why is no one else here? I've got here well earlier. No, why the game kicks off in 10 minutes and no one here? Team's aren't even here.
They're going to be late at this rate,
Yeah. Jose and his buses all over again.
Yeah.
The Real Sociedad chief slams unfair Manchester United advantage ahead of Europa League side.
Good.
We're playing in Turin because we can't play at Sociedad, so he's unhappy about that. For the Real Sociedad like that is, of course. I mean, what do you want us to do about that?
It's not our fault your country are trying to prevent COVID.
Yeah.
Is it?
Soz.
Well, let's play. Right. Spain have been such squares putting in adequate restrictions on travel to their country to stop a deadly pandemic which has essentially shut down the world for a year. What Spain are trying to do, check this, Jay, is limit the number of cases of that virus in their country. The absolute dorks. Unlucky Spain, you big dorks. We'll play in Italy then. Stop us coming in. We'll go to Italy and spread it there instead, where they don't really mind who has it.
My favourite one was when
absolute losers.
Atletico Madrid played the Scousers, and Atletico Madrid fans couldn't even watch the game in their own stadium, but they can go watch it in Liverpool.
Yeah.
They're like, what's this? COVID.
Forget it.
That. Come to Anfield, be alright. What? There's loads of cases because of that game. Oh dear.
Losers.
Never mind.
Absolute losers. They should be called Real Soft Lads.
Yeah.
Absolute bloody losers, mate.
Now who's laughing?
Dorks.
So he says...
So they don't get a home leg as a result of being, like I said before, nerds.
Some would say nerds, others would say, sensible. But I get where you're coming from.
Oh, you're right, actually.
Yeah.
When you put it like that, it does make it... Actually, I've just thought, the less people they let in, the less people will get COVID. That's a good thought, actually.
Did you know?
I wonder if Bojo's thought of that.
Bojo. I hate the way we give him these jovial nicknames like Bojo and even Boris.
I say Bojo because I'm very cosmopolitan.
Bojo.
Bowyer.
Did you see Bowyer
I
on the
went
telly?
travelling, I had a gap year, so it's actually pronounced Bowyer.
Right.
See ya.
No, don't get me started, as we'll be here all day. Real Sociedad's director of football has hit out UEFA, suggesting Manchester United have been handed an unfair advantage ahead of their Europa League last 32 tie. Wait, you're going to get an advantage back when we play a load of children, so don't worry about it.
And what they've forgotten is, we're shit at home, Jay.
Yeah.
So that's their advantage. You get to play at Old Trafford. Ever heard of it? We've won about 4 games there all season. Idiots.
You're Sociedad, lot, mate. Shit. Slugs. You're just jealous and better than you, everything. Yeah, so he's moaning about that, but if I was him, I'd wind it in. Because, you know, we've all got things we've got to deal with during this pandemic, and that's yours. Finally, FA Cup, the real competition, Joe. The one that matters.
That's the one.
Hey, while we're still in it.
Yeah.
We've been drawn away to Leicester.
Yeah.
Bit of a funny one, isn't it, Leicester away? Had a mixed bag there in the past, haven't we?
I never really know what to make of it because they're obviously a good team, but we've got a sort of weirdly good record against Leicester. So for me, I'm nervous about it. It's a tough one. It's another Premier League team that we have to face round after round after round. Another top 6 Premier League team that we have to face round after round after round. But you know, generally,
this is good.
Generally we
good
win
producing
against,
here from
generally
producer
we win
camp.
against Leicester. As you can see there, I don't think we've lost in. I think it's 13 now at this point, something around there anyway. Not since 2014, the famous 5-3 that turned everything around for Louis van Gaal. We haven't lost a game against them since then.
In the sense that he decided he no longer wanted to score or concede any goals.
Yes.
So we're not going to play any attackers and we're not going to try and score. We're just going to keep hold of the ball for the whole 90 minutes.
Do you have the rest of the fixtures there, Jay, at all?
I've got them all up here.
Go on then. What have you got?
Most of them are.
Go on then.
So
Chelsea will play Sheffield United.
Yeah.
Manchester City
Chelsea will play Sheffield United. Manchester City have got a bit of a funny one because they usually get the easy ties, don't they?
Yeah.
But they've got to go away to Carlo Ancelotti's Everton, which, as you know, isn't an easy ground to go to.
No.
So that's one of the fixtures. And then, obviously, Bournemouth
And famously, the 4th fixture.
are at home to Southampton.
Yeah.
So you've got...
So really, the two lowest ranked teams in that would be Bournemouth and Sheffield United, and you know they're playing Southampton, who is one of the other lowest ranked teams, so one of them's going out, and Chelsea presumably will beat Sheffield United. Other than getting City, I would say we've got one of the more difficult ties, but you know we're in the quarter-final. Here's the thing: in the early rounds, you want to kind of get a Wickham or a Luton or a Worksop Town. By the quarter-final, you expect to play someone of Leicester's ilk, don't you? I'm not too upset about drawing against Leicester. It's a quarter-final tie in the biggest cup in England. You're going to get someone decent.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you can't be moaning too much about the fact you've got a Premier League team. I mean, yeah, admittedly, Leicester are one of the best teams in the Premier League, but you know, if we'd have got Chelsea, we'd have got City, we'd be saying, oh, we've got a big, you know, we're against one of the big boys. So we can't moan too much. I personally wouldn't have minded City.
No.
I would have fancied that one.
But here's the thing, though. If you I don't know who would get in the semi-final, obviously that remains to be seen. But if trying to win the FA Cup by going Liverpool, West Ham, City, and then someone else, Chelsea in the final, like that's a big ask. So the fewer of the big teams you can play, and hopefully Chelsea will play City in the semi-final, the other side. The fewer of those you can play, the better chance you have. It's like the similar thing with internationals. When you see these draws and you think, well, most teams don't go on and beat 3 or 4 of the world-class teams and win it. It's very rare. Usually you've got a South Korea or a Switzerland or somewhere in there along the way. But, you know, Leicester's a decent draw, isn't it? We've just got to beat them.
I know, man. So, you know what? It feels like that United always have tough cup runs, though, doesn't it?
Mm. And Watford as well, which was slightly easier. So
yeah, there's Watford, but, you know, we like you say, the Scousers is a big game, tough game. We've got another one coming up, so if we want to win it, we have to beat the best. Peter Kelly says, imagine in 5 years' time, Man United get drawn away to Stretford Paddock. Well, yeah, I think imagine is the operative word in that sentence.
Yeah.
I'm being brutally honest, no disrespect to the lads.
I think that was the final verse of John Lennon's song,
Imagine
wasn't it?
Stretford Paddock.
Yeah.
Playing Man United,
Old Trafford.
Yeah. You may say Alson's a dreamer, but he's not the only one.
Nice.
Yeah, nicely done. I think that's about enough nonsense all of us can say now. We started talking about Stretford Paddock playing Manchester United in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Someone can clip this up and play it back to me in 2074 when it happens.
You think you'll be around in 2074?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Hopefully, fingers
50 years,
crossed,
what
I'll
you
be
mean,
one of those
90?
lucky people that doesn't die. Like, you know, one of those, I think it's 1 in 8 or something, isn't it?
Just don't ever die.
Yeah, you know, fingers crossed.
1 in 8! Who doesn't die?
I think the odds are against me, but pray to on above. I'll be one of them, which would be mint.
1 in 8, just don't die.
I know it's not likely, but you never know. Someone's got to be one of the 1 in 8. Anyway,
That's basically one immortal person from every family. Imagine if that had been the case.
yeah, that would be great. That's
Good
what I'm
luck,
hoping
Jay.
for.
That's all I'll say.
Do you know what I mean?
Fingers crossed.
You got to stay positive, man. Anyway, enough of this absolute nonsense. Guys, thanks for everyone who's been watching.
Yes.
Thanks for everyone who's been liking. Thanks for your super chats and your chats and your comments as well. We appreciate all the support we've been getting, not just tonight as well, but in general on the channel, because, you know, the response since we started doing this has been, I'd say, overwhelming.
Yeah, it's been great, hasn't it?
It has, mate. It really has, and we appreciate it. If you've not checked out the members section, check that out. We've got it's me, Ronaldo, isn't it? And Baggers tomorrow. So we've got a podcast coming out on there, and also some discount on the merchandise. Go and check the merchandise out as well. And if you're not subscribing, there's a thing there. Get subscribing. We'll be looking ahead towards the West Brom game on Saturday. The preview's out, and then on the day of the game, we'll have the watch along, and also
me, you, and Adam on the watch along.
Me, you, and Macola.
Can't wait for that.
So that's like me refereeing you two, as you argue about. You know, I don't know.
As he argues that's saying that everyone we've got shit, and I say, well, are they?
Or he'll use the term "you lot"
Yeah,
to
that's
mean
it.
everyone that's not him.
Yeah.
Like you lot. Or his favourite one. If Rashford did that,
Yeah. Why are you bringing him into it? He didn't do it.
as David De Gea concedes a goal. If Rashford did that, you lot would be defending him. Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. But I do love McCall, and he'll be with us on Sunday. What's tomorrow? Howson's transfer, is he doing something?
We've got transfer review on Saturday.
Not now.
We've got the press conference reaction.
Oh,
We've got
yeah.
Howson's brew, which you will be on.
Yes.
So
me
that should be
and
very
Stephen
good.
Howson will be talking about the 1991 Cup Winners' Cup final. You Howson's brew, you've got him and Ronaldo, which I think is low-key comedy gold.
For the reaction, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Press conference reaction, sorry, is him and Ronaldo. It's the Brains Trust.
Yeah.
That one. So make sure you check that out as well. So we'll be seeing what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is saying ahead of the West Bromwich Albion game. That's Joe Smith. You know where to find him. Joe Smith 93. Started tweeting, haven't you?
Yeah, I got some tweets going.
I tweeted him about
that.
Yeah. So make sure you check him out on the socials. I've been Jay Motty. This has been Stretford Paddock Live. Thanks for watching.